I'm Dror Globerman with Keshet Broadcast. First, thank you again for coming here. I appreciate this talk very much. And secondly, if you truly believe that AI imposes a danger to humankind, why keep developing it? Aren't you afraid for your own dear ones and family? And secondly, should regulation will imposed upon you, upon OpenAI and other AI companies, will you obey or behave much like, say, Mark Zuckerberg, who tried to evade every regulation he finds? Thank you.
I think it's a super fair and good question. And the most troublesome part of our jobs is that we have to balance this like incredible promise and this technology that I think humans really need. And we can talk about why in a second, with confronting these very serious risks. Why to build it? Number one, I do think that when we look back at the standard of living and what we tolerate for people today, it will look even worse than when we look back at how people lived 500 or 1,000 years ago. And we'll say like, man, can you imagine that people lived in poverty? Can you imagine people suffered from disease? Can you imagine that everyone didn't have a phenomenal education and were able to live their lives however they wanted? It's going to look barbaric. I think everyone in the future is going to have better lives than the best people of today. And again, the upside there is tremendous. So I think there's like a moral duty to figure out how to do that. I also think this is like unstoppable. Like this is the progress of technology. It won't work to stop it, and so we have to figure out how to manage the risk. We were formed as a company in large part because of this risk and the need to address it. We have an unusual structure. We have a capped profit. I believe that incentives are superpowers, and if you design the incentives right, you usually get the behavior you want. So, you know, right, like we're gonna all do fine. We're not gonna make any more or less money if we like make the numbers go a little further up to the right. We don't have the incentive structure that a company like Facebook had, and I think there were very well-meaning people at Facebook. They were just in an incentive structure that had some challenges when we were setting up our company originally, and then we set up our capped profit structure. So how do we balance the need for the money for compute with what we care about is this mission? And one of the things we talked about is what's a structure that would let us warmly embrace regulation that would hurt us the most? And now that the time has come for that, we're out here advocating around the world for regulation that will impact us the most. So of course we'll comply with it. I think it's more easy to get good behavior out of people when they are staring existential risk in the face. And so I think all of the people at the leading edge here, these different companies now feel this, and you will see a different collective response than you saw from the social media companies. I think all the skepticism, all the concern is fair. We wrestle with this every day, and there is not an easy soundbite answer.